let your shoulders soften. Let's turn our attention to the electrical activity I mentioned in the second video. The impulse originates in the roof of the right atrium, where a specialized cluster of muscle cells reside. They distinct from ordinary cardiomyocyte by their spontaneous electrical behavior. These are known as pacemaker cells. How do they function precisely? Well, within the sinoatrial node, automaticity depends upon the slow, progressive influx of sodium and potassium ions through the channels called HCN channels. These channels are permeable to both ions, both sodium and potassium. This inward flow of sodium and potassium occurs at the end of repolarization of these rhythm-generating cells. It means that the membrane, end of repolarization means that the membrane potential is returning towards its resting level. It means minus 90 millivolts. And this inward flow of positive ions is termed venae current because of its behavior that is different in some points from usual currents that take place in human cells usually. This one is slower and activated when the membrane is in hyperpolarization, as this gradual sodium-potassium entry diminishes the transmembrane potential difference. The cell's membrane potential drifts toward a threshold of approximately minus 50 millivolts. At this moment, a concerted opening of voltage-gated calcium channels allows then a massive influx of calcium. Voltage-gate channels means that these channels open when there's a shift in the membrane potential. And influx means an entry of ions in the cell. This change in potential across the lipid bilayer establishes an internal electric field that mobilizes charged particles, so the calcium ions, and it generates a local current. Why so? Because ions in movement is the definition of a current. So this current then propagates to the neighboring atrial myocytes via gap junctions. They are like tunnels. They are protein channels formed by connexins subunits. By electrically coupling many cells, these junctions enable the myocardium to operate as a functional syncytium, which is a network of cells contracting in unison as a unified entity. So syncytium is just a collection of cells that are connected with one another and acting like they are an entity and not a collection of small entities. This group of pacemaker cells in the sinoatrial node depolarizes spontaneously at roughly 100 impulses per minute. The wave of depolarization spreads across the atria. It means that the electrical impulse generated by the pacemaker cells will spread to the adjoining normal cardiomyocyte of the right and left atria, and this will trigger the contraction of this normal cardiomyocyte. And then, after that, it will reach the atrioventricular node, where a brief delay facilitates optimal ventricular filling. Thereafter, the impulse travels down the bundle of haze, bifurcated into branches and propagate through the Purkinje fiber network into the ventricular myocardium, orchestrating a coordinated contraction of the ventricles. This bundle of his is a collection of specialized cells embedded in the wall that separates the two ventricles. This wall is called the interventricular septum. The well-known tracing that reflects the electrical activity of the heart is called electrocardiogram. This electrocardiogram shows different waves. The atrial activity appears as the P wave, followed by the PR interval, which reflects conduction through the AV node, the atrioventricular node. Ventricular depolarization produces the rapid high-amplitude QRS complex, and the ventricular repolarization manifests as a T wave. ECG, so electrocardiogram, provides a comprehensive view of the heart's electrical activity in multiple planes. It facilitates analysis of the rhythm, of the health, of the conduction pathways, and the detection of any abnormalities. As we draw this ASMR capsule to a close, here is your key takeaway for the whole videos about the heart, for the whole series. So, blood flow is precisely modulated by a confluence of hormonal influences and neural signaling to adapt the body's needs. The heart's relentless work is indispensable for delivering oxygen and nutrients to every cell in the body. Remarkably, this vital organ is itself nourished by a dedicated coronary circulation that ensures that the heart's own metabolic demands are met. Everything originates in the sinoatrial node, nestled beneath the right atrial wall. There you have pacemaker cells, which spontaneously generate an electrical impulse that prompts both atria to contract in unison. This contraction propels venous blood from the right atrium into the right ventricle through the tricuspid valve. Meanwhile, oxygen-rich blood flows through the mitral valve from the left atrium into the left ventricle. The electrical wave then arrives at the atrioventricular node, travels down the bundle of His, and disperses via the Purkinje fibers. This rapid conduction synchronizes a twisting contraction of both ventricles. As ventricular pressure rises, the tricuspid, then the mitral valves close and the semilunar valves open. The heart ejects blood into the pulmonary artery on the right and the aorta on the left. These valves respond to shifting pressure gradients within the cardiac chambers. As pressure rises and falls throughout the heartbeat, each valve opens and snaps shut in precise concert. Between ejections, diastole allows the myocardium to relax, the aorta to return to the stored elastic energy, and ensuring continuous flow through the arterioles and capillaries. Thus, with each heartbeat, electrical initiation, muscular contraction, and blood propulsion unfold in perfect symphony to nourish our tissues and sustain life. I hope this ASMR journey has both soothed you and enriched your understanding. If you find it valuable, please like, share, and subscribe. This is the best way to support my work. See you next time, and don't hesitate to ask me questions on the comments if you have, or to tell me whatever you want. It it will help a lot. See you. Bye.